What's up, everyone in my recovery family? Hope you're all doing fantastic. Welcome to the Recovery Mentor channel. If you get a second, do me a favor, hit me up with a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, click the notification bell so you can be notified whenever I drop a new video, and please share, and share so we can expand this channel, expand this community. The bigger the community, the better. The more people that we can turn to, the more perspectives that we can gain. All in all, if you're in recovery, you want as much support as possible, and you sharing these videos helps create that support. All that being said, I hope you all are continuing to persevere and dedicate yourself to this craft that we call recovery, taking it one day at a time, looking for that next right indicated step so that you can continue this wondrous, joyful journey we call recovery. And let's be real. Sometimes it's not joyful at all. Sometimes it absolutely sucks. It's one of the hardest things that you're going to do in your life. I mean, let's not bullshit ourselves here. Okay, I mean, of the top 3 things that were the hardest for me to do in my entire life, recovery is definitely up there in the top 3. The other 2 were starting and operating and running a business and being married. Those 3 things are the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. So, yeah, recovery ain't for everyone, obviously. I wish it was, but some people just aren't ready. And I hate to say it, some people just haven't experienced enough pain to get that gift of desperation, to have that willingness to do whatever it takes to achieve long-term recovery. And if that's you, that's perfectly okay. I'm not taking a knock at you or a shot at you or nothing. All right, you're where you're supposed to be. And if you're not ready, you're not ready. And the likelihood of you being successful in recovery when you're not ready ain't that great. Is there a chance that you can have a change of heart or a moment of clarity while you're in treatment or while you're seeking recovery in one way, shape, or form? Absolutely, 100%. I've seen it happen several times before. We've had patients come in that I didn't think had a chance in hell of achieving long-term recovery, and they're still doing great today. In fact, I'll tell you a story about one of them really quick. It's actually one of our first patients we've ever had. And this young lady, she had a little bit of a attitude problem, and she wasn't very fond of me because my style is I tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. All right, you're not in recovery, you're not in treatment to, be coddled and be told, how great of a person you are. And well, that's, definitely part of the process is rebuilding your self-esteem and your confidence. But if it's all bullshit, all you're doing is causing harm. So me and this young lady had a conversation, and I told her exactly what I felt about her and where she was at in her life. And she didn't like that very much. In fact, she told me she hated my guts. She said, F you, and then stormed off. And that's happened more than once. But like I said, it's not my job to tell you what you need to hear. It's my job to tell you, what you want to hear. It's my job to tell you what you need to hear. The bright side of this story, though, is by the time she graduated the program, she actually came back to me and apologized for that altercation that we had, and actually thanked me for calling her out and letting her know that she's not where she thought she was, and she had a lot of work that still needed to be done. Now, I'm very happy to say that I had the opportunity recently to speak to this young lady. I actually got to FaceTime her, and which was really cool to see someone, because this is back from 2016. So I got to see her, and she's looking great, doing fantastic. She's got her own place now. She got regained custody of both of her kids. She's got a full-time job. She's fully self-sufficient. She's still working a program. I mean, that's one of the miracles of recovery. And to know that I had a very small part to play in that, that's what makes this all worthwhile. That's what makes this job amazing. So I just wanted to share that with you, that it is possible, even if you have a shitty attitude, even if you go into it not thinking that you want to be there or you're not ready for this, it's still possible to be successful in long-term recovery. So keep that in mind. if that's where you're at, that's where you're at. It's page 417 of the big book, right? Acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. Accept the fact that that's where you're at. Recognize that fact. The saying I hate the most, and I might get some flack for this, but whatever, is the fake it till you make it. I don't agree with that at all. I don't think you should fake shit, to be honest with you. You should be real with yourself at all times. You should be honest with yourself. And if you're just going to meetings to appease someone or pretend that you're doing the deal, then you're not going to get anything from it. So I'm of the mindset of, screw fake it till you make it. Let's actually go get it and make it ours. Because you want recovery. You are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you want this new lifestyle. And that's really what it comes down to, is achieving a new lifestyle of recovery. Because the thing they say you have to change is everything. And that might sound like an overwhelming task at first. How do you change everything? Well, you do it very slowly. And you do it using a technique called CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy. Because if you think about it, everything starts as a thought, right? Everything that was ever created, ever built, ever invented, always starts with a thought or a perception. And that thought or perception then turns into a behavior or action, right? So it all starts in our heads. So if we can change the way that we think, and we can change the way that we perceive, then we have a really good shot at changing our actions and behaviors. And if we change our actions and behaviors, then we have a really good shot at changing everything that goes on around us. So, in my opinion, if you want to go into recovery, if you want to seek recovery, if you want to stop using or drinking or whatever, it all starts upstairs. It all starts in your head. And you got to change the way that you think. You got to change the way that you perceive. I think that's very, very important. But enough of all that jibber jabber, all right? The real thing that I want to talk to you about today is, again, one of the most important things that you can do in recovery. Because I see it all the time. And usually it's the difference between success and failure. And I don't truly believe in failure. I think the only time that you fail is when you stop trying, or when you no longer learn from your mistakes, and you get a case of the fuck it's, and you're like, you know what, I give up. At that point in time, yeah, you might have failed. But if you learn from your mistakes, if you continue to persevere, if you continue to keep trying and keep going at it, then it's not a failure. It's just a lesson to be learned. Everyone, well, I won't say everyone, most people will relapse in their journey to long-term recovery. I know I'm one of them. I went to multiple treatment centers before I finally found lasting recovery. And if you haven't heard, my clean date's November 1st, 2013. So I have a little over 8 years at this point in time. And I wouldn't have had 8 years if it wasn't for all the instances that happened beforehand. Because even though, there was a time I went to treatment for 26 days, then I went for 28 days, then 56 days. And, during those times, except for probably the first 2 times, I did okay. I did good in treatment. It was after I left treatment that I didn't do that well. And the reason for that was is I failed to learn how to take responsibility for my life and for my actions. And I think that's one of the biggest things you have to do to achieve lasting recovery, is develop the skill of taking responsibility. It actually talks about it in step 9 when you're making an amends. So for those of you who don't know, when you go to make amends with someone, and again, this is all my personal opinion, so take it with a grain of salt. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments. I love a good debate. I don't like arguments. I love debates. There's a difference between the two. But it all starts in step 9. And the way that I feel an amends should be made is you first and foremost take responsibility for your actions. You don't apologize. You don't say I'm sorry. Because I'm sorry and I apologize has lost all of its power. We've used those words so many times that they no longer have any meaning, because people have heard them so many times. Then what do? We go back and do the exact same shit again. So it doesn't matter if you apologize anymore. It's just it's an empty, hollow word. But saying I was wrong and I take responsibility for my actions, that's different. That's probably something that, nobody's heard in a long time. So when you make an amends, you start with taking responsibility for what you've done. And then you offer restitution. You offer a way to make it right. So if you stole money from someone, maybe it's repaying them back the money that you stole from them. If you hurt someone in an emotional way, maybe it's continuing to live this new lifestyle that you live and show them that you're now a different person. But what's most important out of all of this is taking responsibility. Stop pointing the finger at everyone else. Stop concerning yourself with what everyone else is doing and what everyone else is doing wrong and what everyone else is doing that you think that they should be doing differently. It's none of your business, first and foremost, okay? Because it's their own journey, it's their own recovery. They have to figure these things out for themselves. Now, if you want to offer advice or suggestion, I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. What I'm saying is you shouldn't obsess over it. It shouldn't be your main primary focus is, let me see how Jim's doing or John's doing or Jane's doing. That shouldn't be your primary focus at all. So I had to do a brief cutaway. Like most of my videos, I'm out grabbing dinner for the family. And so what it comes down to is taking responsibility. All right, you have to take responsibility. Stop pointing the finger. Stop taking other people's inventory and focus on yourself. Remember, you're there for yourself. You're not there for anyone else. And stop trying to manipulate yourself into thinking you're doing the right thing because you're trying to do all these right things for someone else as opposed to yourself. I once had a patient I was working with, and really good guy, solid guy, but never could actually get it together and put together any extended amount of time. And the reason for that is because he was so obsessed with what everyone thought about him that he went out of his way to help other people. And he did that at his own sacrifice. He did that sacrificing time that he should have been spending on himself, working on himself, actually going through and working a program. He was so busy helping everyone and people pleasing that he forgot that the most important thing to do is look out for, number one, look out for you. It's a selfish, selfless program. You got to come first. You got to take responsibility, but at the same time, understand that you're the lead actor in this play here. You're the person that matters the most. So stop wasting your time trying to fix everyone else when you should be fixing yourself. It's actually a distraction technique that we use while we're in treatment. And then we rationalize it and justify it because we're quote unquote helping someone else. So we're doing the right thing, right? We're being of service, we're helping someone else, but at the same time, we're doing nothing for ourselves. So if that's you, if that's what you're doing, if you can put your ego aside for a split second, take it on as self-assessment and figure out, is that me? Is that what I'm doing? Am I focusing too much on other people? And if the answer is yes, then stop doing it. Just stop, all right? Trust me, they will get the help they need from the people that they need help from. It doesn't have to be you. You're not the savior coming and riding along, playing captain, saving you know what. They have people there to help them. That's why they're in treatment. So, I had to do another quick cutaway. All right, food has been grabbed, mission accomplished, now on the way back to the fam. All right, so if you're gonna take anything from this video, it's this. First and foremost, start taking responsibility. All right, stop pointing the finger. Realize and come to the conclusion that you are responsible for your own actions and for your own reality. If you're having a shitty time, check your thoughts. Everything starts as a thought. What are your thought patterns? What are your observations? What are your perceptions? Check those first. Because if they're all negative, no wonder you're freaking miserable. All right, so focus on the positive. The second thing I would say is, how much work are you actually doing on yourself versus other people? Are you trying to people please because you want people to like you, because you need that exterior validation so that you feel some sense of value? If that's the case, knock that shit off too, all right? Validation should come from within. It shouldn't come from outside. It should come from inside. And if you're out people pleasing nonstop, then you're not going to get to where you want to be. So if you can do those two things, if you can take responsibility, take an honest self-assessment, drop the ego, and stop trying to please everyone on planet Earth, you got a good shot at making it. Okay, because when you take responsibility, you acknowledge your shortcomings, you acknowledge your character defects, you acknowledge the problem areas that you currently have in your life. When you do that, we can create a solution for that. A solution that doesn't involve drugs or alcohol, a solution that's actually, healthy. So first and foremost, like I said, take responsibility. Secondly, stop pointing the finger at everyone. Thirdly, stop trying to help everyone that you possibly can so that you don't have to focus on yourself. All right, we know what you're doing, right? Or at least I know what you're doing. You're trying to put all of your focus and attention on all these other people so that you can rationalize and justify not working your own program. That's really what it is. It's what it comes down to. And I know some of you watching this video are 100% guilty of doing that. So here's the answer to that. Stop. Just stop doing it. All right? Quit focusing on everyone else and get the focus back to where it needs to be, on yourself. Focus on yourself. Focus on the reason why you're there in the first place. And if you forgot about that, maybe it's time to do some critical thinking and remind yourself of why you're in the situation that you're currently in right now. For me, for instance, I have never forget tattooed on my wrist. It's a constant reminder of where I came from, how far I've come. I never forget what it was like during my active addiction, so that I don't ever have to go back to that lifestyle again. You never want to forget that. But that's all I'm going to give you today, all right? I'm going to leave it at that. I think that's more than enough information to concentrate on for one day, one video. So start taking responsibility and stop worrying about everyone else's damn problems, because they're not yours. And you're not there to fucking save them, okay? Excuse my language. But you're not there to save them. That's not your job. All right, your job is to save yourself and focus on yourself. All right, so that's what I got for you. Hope you all have a blessed rest of your day. Continue to persevere. Continue to stay dedicated to this craft that we call recovery. It gets easier. It really does with time. Life doesn't get any easier, but our ability to deal with life gets easier. Trust me, I'm telling you the truth. And if your goal right now is, I just want to be able to love myself again, I want to be able to be happy again, if you stick around long enough, you will achieve those goals. I absolutely 100% guarantee it. But you have to work a program. It's not going to magically happen for you. You're not going to wake up one day and be like, holy shit, I'm cured. It doesn't work that way. You actually have to put in the work. All right, there's a lot more that goes into it. But for right now, if you can focus on the things that we talked about in this video, that is an excellent step forward. That is an excellent accomplishment that you can be proud of. That you can be proud of. That you can look in the mirror and like what you see looking back at you because of what you were able to accomplish. You can do this. All right, I believe in you. I know you've got what it takes to accomplish long-term recovery, because I've been there, I've done that, I've sat in the chairs that you're sitting in, I've been in the situations that you've been in. Well, I take that back. I might not have been in all the same situations you've been in, but I've experienced the same emotions that you've experienced, okay? I'm an addict, I'm an alcoholic, I suffer from mental health conditions as well, anxiety, depression, and PTSD. And so I can relate to what you are going through. And I'm telling you right now, you have the potential to not only achieve long-term recovery, but to achieve any goal or aspiration that you set for yourself. You can do it. Because if I can do it, anyone can do it. There's nothing that makes me special. There's nothing that sets me apart from everyone else. I just decided to do the work and listen to suggestion, have a little bit of open-mindedness and some willingness, and I got honest with myself. And I continue to do that on a daily basis. And if I can do it, like I said, you can do it too. So God bless each and every one of you. No one's told you they love you today. I love you. Got nothing but love for you. I'm going to keep praying for each and every one of you. You guys can do this. Just stick with it. Take the next right indicated step. That's what it's all about, baby steps. Enough baby steps equals a mile. You got this, okay? Just keep focusing on what you need to do. And if you don't know what you need to do, if you get stagnant, if you get stuck, if you get complacent, go talk to someone. Talk to your sponsor. Talk to your mentor. Post it in the comments. Shit, I got a million things that you can do. I got tons of assignments. Tell me what's going on with your life. I'll tell you what you can do right now to help address that. Post it in the comments. All right, that's why I do what I do. I'm here to help. This is me being of service, trying to give back. That's why I created this channel. That's why I created the program called YourRecoveryMentor.com. All right, it's because this is what I love to do. This is my passion, helping people in recovery. This is what I believe I was born and put on this earth to do. And I'm pretty damn good at it, if I must say so myself. And that's not me tooting my own horn. That's just going off of my experience that I've had with working with other individuals in recovery. All right. I think that's enough, don't you? I think that's long enough video. We went over 20 minutes. So how about this? Have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next video. But until then, peace out.